Buongiorno, yorobun. Jackie here with Sakura Pop. Thanks for tuning in, and I am here with my co-host, Bonnie.
Thanks, Jackie, and buongiorno, everyone.
Yes, great to see you again, Bonnie. And remember, everybody, you can listen to this podcast on any audio listening platform. If you would like to share an opinion, then please email us at, what's the address, Bonnie?
sakurapopcast@gmail.com.
Fabulous. So I do have a bombshell announcement on how Vincenzo is filmed that I would like to share with all of you listeners. And it's something that really took me by surprise. I think I am quite a lot disappointed as well, but it came from a very reliable source. Recently, I discovered that Netflix Philippines, they put out a YouTube video on how Vincenzo's earlier episodes were shot and filmed. Turns out that despite me having been so enormously impressed with their on-site Italian filming locations, and I gushed quite a bit about using drones and getting great camera angles on historical buildings, those buildings did not exist on the actual film set. In other words, everything was green
Oh
screened.
my. That is a bombshell. I did not know
The
that.
footage was fake,
Oh no.
entirely manipulated.
Oh wow.
That was so sad. Everything from where you see like Vincenzo stepping out of all these beautiful Italian buildings to that whole vineyard,
Yeah.
to even the funeral scenes where he's talking to his brother.
I guess this was filmed during the pandemic, right?
Yes,
So traveling would have been a problem.
undoubtedly. But still,
So it makes sense, but it's disappointing.
I suppose traveling to Italy would be double the problem of anywhere else because they are one of the hardest hit regions
Exactly.
of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But still, it made me so excited to see all that Italian scenery.
Yeah. That's too bad.
And yet it was blended so well together.
Which means they did
So
a
that
good job.
I had no idea. Thank you, Netflix Philippines. You've given me great insight, but you've also really allowed me to be let down.
Shattered your dreams.
Yeah, that's
Why
right.
why Netflix Philippines though?
Why, well, like, why did they release this?
Why
Maybe it's like an
Philippines and
exclusive?
not like Korea or like USA?
Maybe to avoid disappointing their Korean audience, to keep them in this romanticized state
Yeah.
of awe and enjoyment of Vincenzo episodes. Because your Korean audiences act in a very fired up manner to all sorts of things, and they become keyboard advocates very easily.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe they didn't. Maybe Netflix did not want that. They foresaw it coming, but perhaps their Asian neighbors are chill people who, don't mind a little surprise, even if it might be a disappointing surprise. We have just finished episode 13 and 14. And this time, instead of going through the scenes one by one, I'll give an overall summary of an episode. We'll talk about that particular episode, and then we will do the same of the next one.
Sounds good.
So let's get started. Episode 13. We start off with a fight scene of an unlikely pair, Vincenzo and his longtime ally, Mr. Choi. Mr. Choi's machinations and schemes are revealed. He is actually an agent from the ISS sent in to recover the guillotine files. As they're working out a new form of partnership, the tenants interrupt, and in a hurry to conceal the location of the vault, they lose their best means to recover the gold and the guillotine files. Meanwhile, Wu Sang's CEO spills the beans to save his own butt and tell Junwoo about the existence of the files. Junwoo gains inauguration and officially becomes the head of Babel Corp. But during the ceremony, Vincenzo orchestrates the public reveal of his illegal activity and publicly humiliates Junwoo with a little surprise. Oh, what a fun episode.
That was fun.
This is what I live for.
Yeah. So I appreciated Mr. Choi a lot more after that scene because it wasn't out of personal greed. It was he had a mission. So at least I give that to him. What did you think?
So he doesn't owe millions of dollars or
No.
of debt that he can't pay off, and he doesn't have trouble paying for his wife's yoga lessons or his daughter's piano lessons.
Yeah, so it's less ridiculous. But I wanted to clarify something.
Yeah.
Because he met up with someone to talk about the guillotine file. Was that the prosecution?
Oh, that'll come in episode 14.
Okay.
Yep. So you're
Goldfish
getting
memory.
ahead of us a little bit.
Oh, whoops! I thought they
But
showed
yes,
that scene in 13.
They they showed it in 14.
Oops, okay.
They did reveal like Mr. Choi had been in cahoots with somebody, but as of episode 13, we do not know who that is. You wonder though, Mr. Choi's double dealing because he's working for the same organization that An is working.
Yeah.
And yet they don't seem to really know of each other's identities. And at the same time, Mr. Choi did not report him finding the vault or the guillotine files to his organization. And that's where Vincenzo insinuates that Mr. Choi might be looking to take the files to another buyer to personally profit from it.
Mm-hmm. It's so hard. You can't trust anyone. You don't know who's working with who.
Mm-hmm. But this is a dangerous game because Mr. Choi, even though he's working for a completely legal entity who's backed by the Korean government, the things that he did to to further his gains are not particularly legal. Because he killed that Wang guy, President Wang.
Well, yeah, and that's like everyone in the show, right? It's like you're none of them are truly like ethical, except for again the dad who died.
Yep. So nobody's truly white.
No.
They're all operating in the gray.
Yep, which makes the show interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited to see any more progress on Mr. Choi.
Yeah, he just became more interesting.
Yeah, very much so. And he never intended to harm Vincenzo either.
Yeah, which is nice.
That's rather uplifting to see.
Exactly. I thought he was just a greedy man who wants to kill him off.
Yeah, that would be terrible writing if they went there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad they stuck true to his character.
Yep. Much more believable.
Yep. Yes, totally. Even though it's rather a bizarre twists of circumstances.
Yes.
That, hey, Mr. Choi is working for an international secret intelligence organization. It doesn't seem far-fetched at all.
Nope. Because there have been even more bizarre revelations throughout this whole drama series.
Yeah, I'll say.
Yeah, it's constant twists and turns.
What other things caught your eye about this episode?
Well, I was very angry when they were trying to close the vault quickly because I saw that coming. I saw as soon as he threw the jacket, and I'm like, what are you doing? I don't know if you had the same level of frustration, but I was like, come on, guys, this is your only way to get in.
Yeah, I thought that was wholly unnecessary.
Right?
I was worried about the iris detection device. I thought, ooh, that better be still on top floor.
Yeah. Uh, I guess they need to do some twists and turns, but that was very annoying for me.
Of course, it had to happen.
Yep.
2 steps forward. I mean, 1 step forward and 2 steps back.
Yep. Oh well. And that
Well, then they'll have to continue to work together.
exactly. Exactly. Which is interesting given they had such a fallout. The fact that they were still able to be civil with each other afterwards. That was refreshing to see.
Yeah. Well, Vincenzo continues to believe in, maybe not in Mr. Choi's motivations,
Mm-hmm.
but he believes in his character.
Yeah, and his ability, I
And he
guess.
believes in their friendship.
Yeah.
Yep. Because Vincenzo apparently saw this coming from a mile away. Not all of it, but
Some
he
of it.
knew
Mm-hmm.
that Mr. Choi wasn't all as he seems.
Mm-hmm.
And Vincenzo's he's been doing his own research on the guillotine files.
Mm-hmm. Good for him.
Yep. Yes, that almost omnipotent skill of his to be able to read and anticipate people's actions come in handy, very handy indeed.
Mm-hmm. And that's a Vincenzo I like, not the flustered one.
He was pretty flustered when he was trying to close that vault door.
He was.
And we have some happenings on the villainous side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Wu Sang CEO, it continues to try to play both fields. He's scared of Junwoo, so he wants to stay on the right side of loyalty. But at the same time, he is pushing the younger brother to step up the game.
Yeah.
It's funny that they're in that scene where they're in the car.
Mm-hmm.
The younger Babel brother is talking to Wu Sang CEO, and the advice given was, you have to be more than an idiot. You have to be a complete idiot to regain Junwoo's trust.
Yeah. Which is
It seems
sad.
like it's been his own personal tactic all along.
Yeah, because if he appears too smart, then Junwoo would see him as a threat, right? So he can't be too smart. Maybe he's smarter than we think. Maybe I hope so, right?
If there's anything I learned about this show is that it has a knack of developing all of the minor characters.
Yes.
And giving them like secret abilities.
I like that.
Yeah, and they're little tit for tat about using the shotgun. The two idiots.
Yeah. Comedic relief at this point.
Yeah, that's unexpected comedy relief.
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming from them too.
No, but it's gives us something else other than the tense scenes.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't rely on the comedy of the tenants on their own. I much prefer this idiot couple.
Change it up. As I was saying, I was tired of the tenants, so this is...
Yes, they were becoming annoying is the word that you used.
Yes.
Very strong word.
Annoying.
And now that Vincenzo has lured Junwoo out, and Junwoo is becoming inaugurated, he's officially stepped up to his position as head of Babel.
Yeah, I miss his curly hair. That makes him look younger. I know he has to play the part, but you know.
Now he's playing the part openly, at least.
No, I
None of
mean,
this
yeah, now
operating
he's
from the
playing the part as
shadows thing.
CEO and not as a intern.
Yeah.
Got to change
No, he's
something.
not quite as annoying or as hard to watch. Like to me, Junwoo was kind of hard to watch when he was playing this double role.
True.
It, yeah,
It was less
it's just
believable.
kind of vile. Yeah.
That's true. Now he's like true to his character.
Yep. Yes. No more tiptoeing around. That ending
Oh
scene
man, that was so
was
good.
so satisfying.
So
I wondered
good.
why they were talking about pig blood,
Yeah,
and it seems like every hint that they drop in the episode comes to fruition by the end.
I like that. I
Yes,
like that. Yep,
bravo.
that was really well played. It was scary when he like glared back at them with blood all over him, but it just shows how good of a job they did to humiliate him.
Public humiliation
Yeah,
as
and
well.
his first like biggest thing that was happening to him, as the CEO.
And yeah, and they did more than that. They set that monitor up with the video that directly implicates Junwoo as a person who orchestrated the anti-union activity. So
That was good.
I get the feeling that, Vincenzo has caught the little mouse in a trap,
Yeah.
and the trap has sprung and snapped.
And then it ends, and then you know that there's gonna be a
Hey,
twist.
we weren't the only people. We weren't the only ones who were highly amused by the pig blood scene. The younger Jang
Oh yeah,
found it to be very funny
yeah.
as
He couldn't even
well.
hide his like giggles.
I like that.
Oh, he is not good as
It gives me
playing poker face, and you know.
no, and that's fine because he is one of the few guys who are true to
That's
themselves in the
true.
show, even though
You
he's
can
the
see through
villain.
him at least.
Yeah, you know what
Right.
you're getting with the younger brother. Yeah. Some say these are the type of people who are the easiest to get along with because you know
That's
what you're
true.
getting. All the good stuff, all the bad stuff. And I think humans prefer predictability when interacting with people they're close to. Like, nobody wants a double faced poser who you never know what they're thinking and who you don't know if it's gonna come back and bite you in the butt. Why don't we move on to episode 14? So, in episode 14, Vincenzo and prosecutor Jung gathered irrefutable evidence to lay charges on Junwoo for directing anti union activities, despite prosecutor Jung having been blocked from laying those charges. Vincenzo is completely nonplussed as he was using this as a diversion to gather evidence on much more severe and illegal criminal activities that can ultimately put Junwoo in prison. Miss So, one of the tenants, reveals her secret identity as a professional hacker, but more vitally, as a computer programmer who designed the electronic security measures of the vault. She joins Vincenzo and the other tenants to stage a gallery heist, where they infiltrate a finance director's office of a paper company owned by Babel, which they use to cover up money laundering. And meanwhile, younger Babel Jang failed to attract Vincenzo's help to betray his brother. Then Babel cooperates with Vincenzo's half-brother Paolo, who sends hitmen to kill him. They trap Vincenzo, and he now stands with 3 guns pointed at his
Dun, dun,
skull.
dun. Another cliffhanger.
Ooh. Ooh, quite a lot to digest
Yes.
there.
I love it. I love how like I was waiting for special abilities for each of the people, the tenants. And it was so cool when she revealed that she was the one who not only is she a hacker, but she is the one who like designed the system for the gold. That was so cool.
Yeah, goodness. Now I feel silly that I didn't put two and two together on Miss So earlier on.
I mean, that would be hard to predict though.
I'm so invested and knee deep into this drama that I'm just going with the
Exactly.
flow. I'm not thinking
Yeah.
that much.
It's good to be surprised sometimes.
But the show did a great job at distracting
Mhm.
me because I really never see where any of the minor characters are coming from. And then when they finally reveal their special ability, then it's very exciting and interesting to
Mhm.
watch.
I love it. It keeps the show going, right? Otherwise it would be very monotonous if it's always the same people doing the same
Yep.
things.
Mm-hmm.
So this brings like a technology aspect to their kind of toolbox that they didn't have before.
Yep. Yep. So now they've got a way to gather intelligence. They've got a way to seemingly hack into any computer terminal and gather critical
Hmm.
evidence.
And their first intern, the man who fights,
Yep,
the North Korean
we can't forget
soldier.
about them. Yeah, and his unwavering
I know.
loyalty. I like how he stands so
Yeah,
solidly with
I know. He's
Vincenzo,
so loyal.
whatever the misgivings. Yeah. Our special agent An is supremely loyal.
I
Also,
know. I think after him observing Vincenzo for all those episodes, he's fallen in love with him. And he would do
that's
anything
right.
for
And
him.
you would do anything for the person
Yes.
you love.
So that's good. He has a bunch of loyal interns slash partners.
Hey, the tenants are totally having a blast every time that they're involved in one of
Mm-hmm.
Vincenzo's schemes. From the gallery heist to the festival that they put together and the protest outside of the courtroom.
Yeah.
Like they're having the time of their
I almost
lives.
couldn't recognize those two women at the gallery heist. And I'm like, wait a second. I know them.
Hmm.
They did a good job.
Very
Yeah.
good. It's like watching the Avengers assemble.
Yeah. Exactly. I was like, good acting, good makeup.
And what a good setup. Now everybody is
Mm-hmm.
helping, and they're helping in a really meaningful
Mm-hmm.
way.
Except the only thing I'm gonna nitpick is you know how they use the accountant of the gangsters to help with the heist? I
Hmm.
was like, do you really need an
Hmm.
accountant to look through files to find one that says international transactions? Like, any of them could have done that. I thought she was gonna do
Agreed.
some crazy like calculations or like, you know, something accounting related, but nope, she's just digging through files. But it's fine. I will turn a blind eye on that one.
Well, her special ability is cooking the books.
Yes. So maybe she can
So
analyze it afterwards.
maybe, yeah, yeah, that, yeah. I'm sure her special ability will come more into the
I hope so,
forefront later
because that
on.
was a waste of her abilities.
Hmm. I like her
Yeah.
boss kind of always doing a little
Yeah.
backseat driving
Literally.
and like
Yeah.
criticizing them in the most relatable and
It's
sensible
true.
way. It's almost like he's saying the things for the
Yes.
audience in our
It's so
place.
funny. Like when he was saying that they look like chess pieces because one is black and one is white. And they are like ghosts talking to each other.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Yeah, that was a good scene.
Uh,
That whole heist is good.
They have had so many heists now.
Mm-hmm.
This is the biggest one that they pulled off. But they also, uh, they planted things at the hotel where the younger Jang was staying at in an earlier episode. They went to retrieve files from the
Mm-hmm.
Vision team, and that needed the help of the two guys like posing as
Mm-hmm.
security personnel. And of course, we can't forget breaking into the vault.
Oh yeah.
I count that as a heist too.
Yeah.
It's just genius and it's fun to watch. But the best one now is overtaken by the
Oh
Great
yes.
Gallery heist because everybody gets involved
Yeah, and there was a kissing
and
scene.
yeah, oh yes. I saw some previews
Oh,
of
did
that
you?
kissing scene. So but it didn't take away from the actual impact because I didn't know Cha Young went for it first. She initiated it.
It didn't surprise me, given that she's the type to be very like go getter. Yeah.
Forward.
But that was refreshing to see. And according to Jackie, whenever two characters kiss, that's it. They sealed the deal. They're gonna be together forever. She looked so cool though when she pulled that gun out. I
Oh
was like,
yeah! Wow,
cool.
so sexy.
It's so like
She's like a leading lady
that's what
from
I
a
was gonna
James Bond
say.
film.
Exactly.
And I like her like fishnet
Yeah.
stocking
And
too,
how he dressed her for
where
that
the gun.
part. That was so sweet.
Yeah,
Love, love, love.
yeah. Cha Young, oh my gosh, she looks so good
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
heist. Like that
Yeah.
dress. Wow, I've never seen anything like it. They're all wearing designer
Definitely looks
stuff.
better than her usual suits.
Yep, yeah. Some of her usual suits are a little bit wacky
Yeah.
looking. Can't forget the last scene. I I don't know how that's gonna end, but it does not look
I
good.
mean, it's too early for him to die, so something's gonna
It
happen.
is. Yeah. But what? And
Who?
who? Like who has the tough part about watching these cliffhangers is when they happen, it looks like such a situation that you can't really
Mm-hmm.
back out of and you don't know who's at hand
Help.
to
Yeah.
offer rescue. It's nail biting tension. Just like at the end of episode 12, when Mr. Choi pointed a gun
Right.
at Vincenzo, and we know nobody else was around at that point,
Exactly.
and Mr. Choi could either shoot him or he could leave him for dead inside the
Mm-hmm.
vault. And what's Vincenzo gonna do? Can he like martial art his way out of it?
Probably not. So that's yeah. I mean, the only thing I can think of is he sent Chaeyoung to go get beer, so she's gonna eventually show up. But what can she do, right?
Yeah.
Unless if she's
And
smart
where is
enough
everybody
to
else?
catch on to what's happening and she goes get help. That's a possibility.
It doesn't sound like, Cha Young. Actually, in these 10 scenes, Cha Young has never been the person who's able to get
Yeah,
Vincenzo out of the worst situations where his life is in
yep,
danger. It's never been her. It's always been something
true,
else that you don't see
true.
coming.
So we'll have to see.
Because, like you said, even if Cha Young showed up, what can she do? These guys have got guns. They're trained
Yeah, if they
killers.
can get him in this pickle, then what can she do?
We'll have to find out. Without further ado, shall we get to our language points of the day? Let's start with the word for gold. We've heard this word used many, many, many times because it's part of the subplot. Everyone wants the gold. So they've used this word many times. Any idea what that might be, Bonnie? It's very easy. It's just one syllable. It's goom, like purple
Oh,
goom.
it's not the same though, right? Oh,
It is
really?
the
His
same,
name, it
goom.
means gold?
Well, uh, no, it's just it just uses the same
Sounds.
character
Okay.
to write it.
I was like,
But you
that's not
never
a
know.
really
Maybe.
pretty name, but sure.
And I would also like to introduce the word for betrayal
Oh,
because that's all we've
mm-hmm.
seen
That's
all
true.
throughout. The villains betray each other, the brothers Jangs, the subordinates often betray Junwoo when their own lives are at risk.
But how the Jang brother tried to betray his older brother, but it didn't work.
It didn't because Vincenzo said no.
Yeah. So that was an interesting twist because we thought that he would eventually use his services.
Yep. So I don't have my points yet
Yet.
because I thought that was going to
Mm-hmm.
happen. I still think at some point it could
Yeah.
happen, but the show already seemed to have closed the
Yeah,
book
at
on it.
least not for now.
I know Vincenzo seemed pretty convinced that this is not one of those moral principles that he's willing to break.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps once he've experienced the bitter tastes of
Mm,
medicine, seeing as his half brother Paolo is straight up after his life, he may change his
maybe.
mind. He may change it yet.
Yes.
But anyways, the word for betrayal is peishin.
Heishin?
Yep. Good job. That's perfect pronunciation. That was me and Bonnie's reaction to episode 13 and 14. We'll be back next week, everyone. Thanks for listening to Sakura Pop. Keep musing about those K dramas, and we shall see you next week. Ta ta! Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.